I'm Roy Logan with the Logan County Herald, and we've got Chris Grau with us
Good
today.
afternoon. How's everybody doing?
And we're going to talk about Up in Smoke downtown. So,
All right.
Chris,
Sounds good.
Chris is our resident guru, go-to guy. So this is a passion of yours on a personal level, I know.
Well, we certainly have some fun with it. And I guess I've become known as the local barbecue guy in Logan County, kind of by default, I guess.
Yeah,
Which
that's
isn't
a
all
good
bad.
thing.
Yeah.
So tell me, it's after the Balloon Fest. Mm-hmm. I know you've got big guns coming in, some real heavy hitters.
We've been pretty fortunate to get some pretty good nationally known teams to come in. The first year it was so-so, but last year we had the team of the year, Mike and Beth Wozniak with QAL were here. They won the national championship and team of the year before, and they were here. This will be their third year here. We've got 5 of the top 10 national cooks that are coming. That are listed on KCBS's website for their points for the national standings for the year. We've got the first, second, and third teams in ribs, which is Drew McNatt of Hog Tied Barbecue, Darren and Sherry Worth of Iowa Smoky D's, and Mike Wozniak of QAL are listed first, second, and third in ribs. So if you want to get a really good rib downtown, well, you'd have to become a cook or be a judge to be able to get the competitors, but these guys are really, really good, know what they're doing. We've also got second, fourth, and fifth in brisket with Darren Worth, Drew McNatt, and Mike Wozniak. So we've got some really, really good local cooks they're coming in to cook. We do have Gil Taft of Gilly's Barnstormer and Barbecue. He's listed fourth in the nation right now in points, which is just fantastic. Both of our grand champions, Abel Akers and also Jeff Brinker, are both coming back. The Abel Akers, Gary Duncan wasn't able to come back last year. He's a crop adjuster with an insurance company, and last year with the crops, he was really busy. But I called him and talked him into coming, and we're glad to have both of our returning grand champions coming back this year.
So when's the best time, if I want to come down and see this, if I want to watch what they're doing, when's the most activity going on?
Either later in the evening on Friday is a good time to come, because the guys will start doing their large meats, which are the ribs or the pork shoulder and brisket will go on late in the evening, about 11 or 12 o'clock. So they'll be prepping their big meats about 9, 10 o'clock. Their smokers will be fired up. They'll put that stuff on usually before midnight, because that stuff's got to cook 12 to 14 hours. Or early Saturday morning, 7 to 9 o'clock is a really good time. After 9, they're starting to approach turn-in, and they've got meat that's starting to get done. So once it gets to be about 9 o'clock Saturday morning, you really want to kind of stay out of these guys' ways. You can show up and you can watch, but if you want to talk to them or go look at their equipment and ask them questions about stuff, it's really much better before crunch time.
Yeah, it's kind of trespassing on
Sure.
what they're doing, because it is a competition.
It is.
And so let's expound a little bit about why the general public is being offered other choices other than what the competitors are doing.
Well, most of these guys, number one, the competitors that do show up, they're not here to vend, they're not here to serve barbecue to the general public. We have 4 vendors that come on board. One of them actually compete. Well, 2 of them are competing. Tom Payne with Fat Boys Barbecue is vending and competing, and Randy Twyford of Twyford Barbecue and Catering from Jacksonville is vending and competing both. And these guys have to be inspected and authorized, have a license for the health department, so we make sure that everything's safe and clean and everything. And the competitors that do compete, they're here to compete and win prizes and hopefully gain more points and not necessarily vend. We've moved our vendors from the intersection of Broadway and Pulaski Street down to the intersection of Kickapoo and Pulaski Street, and we'll have some pretty big banners down there that show exactly where the barbecue vendors are. So we do have barbecue for sale, and it's really, really good quality barbecue. Randy Twyford, 2 years in a row, has finished top 10 at Memphis in May in ribs, and his brisket is really, really good. I've had it a number of different times, and actually he placed top 10, or I think he finished first in pork shoulder first year, and maybe 5th in pork shoulder last year. So the vendors are really, really top notch, and every bit as good as what you get at the judges' stand.
Well, one of the points that you brought out earlier in a conversation was that the cuts of meat are very expensive, and it's just cost prohibitive.
Sure. The brisket that these guys will cook, they'll usually cook a 14 to 16 pound brisket, and they'll run $60 to $130 depending on what brand and what grade they cook. But Charlie Lee has been able to acquire Creekstone brisket, this ultra prime brisket that a lot of the cooks will cook in competition, that the average cook can walk into Charlie Lee's place and get the same brisket that these guys are cooking for competition. My cooking partner and I have started cooking those, and they're not terribly expensive, but it's just an ultra good quality piece of meat that if you know what you're doing, you can really get them to turn out good.
And tell me a little bit about this equipment that they're using, because this isn't just your backyard gas grill or charcoal or whatever.
To come down and look at the equipment that these guys use, a lot of them will use some really, really elaborate equipment. A lot of them will be cooking on fuel barrels. Some of them have started cooking on what's called an ugly drum smoker. It's a UDS smoker that they'll take a 55-gallon drum and convert it into a charcoal smoker. The backwoods grills or the backwoods smokers are really, really popular. That's a water-fed or a water smoker that allows the smoke to travel up the sides of the chamber. And it's just, there's a lot of different things that really, really make the equipment really interesting to look at. I could do these barbecue competitions. I could walk around for 12 hours and look at equipment and talk to these guys, and it just fascinates me to look at all the different setups. So it's really, really neat to see.
This is a kid in a candy store here. I've seen him. What can we touch a little bit on the backyard barbecue component?
Sure. We added backyard competition this year where we've got the local cooks the ability to be able to enter and cook just 2 meats, ribs and chicken, that are a relatively short cook time. You can cook it on very, very basic equipment. You don't have to do a whole lot to it to get it to turn out right. But that's going to start Saturday morning. That's being hosted by Life Point Church. Life Point Church has been really good about letting us use their building for our judges' chambers. And Royal Oak Charcoal has footed the bill for all the prize money. And we've got a $500 purse for this backyard competition, which a lot of times these backyards have no purse at all. It's only ribbons or trophies. So not only do these guys have an opportunity to take some cash home, they'll also get a nice trophy out of it as well. Plus the bragging rights to be able to say that they've cooked alongside these professional cooks. And we're going to hold the award ceremony for the backyard right along with the professional guys. So they're going to get to stand up there and get their trophy right along with the professionals, which is, I think it should be a good deal for them. Should be really fun.
I tell you, we've just got tons of things going that weekend, and it's so exciting. It's such a boon to Lincoln, and you've worked really hard to build this, and to have the recognition we have in small town USA. I think it's a real attribute to you. Is there anything else you want to share?
Well, it's a fun weekend. It's a lot of fun to come out and see this. It's a lot of fun to come downtown and see downtown the way it is, and then as the weekend approaches and the team starts showing up and our committee gets all of our things out and then the street closes, and then all of a sudden, boom, it goes from city streets to Barbecue Central. And it's a whole lot of fun. I really enjoy doing it. And we do it because, number one, because we love competitive barbecue. Number two, we want to showcase our downtown. We want to showcase Lincoln, Illinois, and we've kind of put ourselves on the barbecue map, so to speak. We've got the second highest paying contest in the state of Illinois right now, and only to be topped by 17th Street Praise the Lord by Mike Mills in Murfreesboro. And we're thrilled to have that notoriety in just 3 years' time, and it's because the town has supported it, and we've got really good sponsors, and the city and the county and the chamber, everybody has come out to support this thing, and it's just been really gratifying to have it go this well in 3 short years.
Well, Chris, we really appreciate what you've brought to the table here, and the way you've made this happen with the cooperation of tons of others. And from the Logan County Herald, you're all invited. We'll see you downtown.
All right, come down and see us. We'll be here.